Share your voice, ask your questions, join in the conversation. Receive life-changing, positive transformation and rise together to create a sound world. And here's your host, Kara Johnstad.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Voice Rising. Today, I'm thrilled to have with us a true leader in the personal development space, Karen Kushik, bestselling author of 50 Sentences That Make Life Easier. Karen's work has helped thousands of individuals build self-confidence, navigate life's challenges, and find empowerment through the words they speak. With over 20 years of experience as a leadership coach, Karen's approach blends practical wisdom with profound insight, teaching us how to consciously choose our words to transform our experiences and align with our true selves. Her best-selling book, 50 Sentences That Make Life Easier, is a guide to using language as a tool for clarity, confidence, and emotional well-being. And today we're going to explore the power of words, how they shape our reality, and how the voice plays a crucial role in personal transformation. Karen, welcome to Voice Rising. I'm very excited to have you on the show today and know that everybody else listening is going to absolutely adore this conversation.
Likewise, I'm really grateful for the invitation.
So your book, which I think I have about 17 copies, if not 52. I don't know. But I actually should have 100. It's a perfect book for giving to people. So anyway, your book, in this book that has been on the best-selling list for over 3 years, top 10, I may add, you share how powerful sentences can shift our lives and perspective. So first of all, how did you first realize that a single sentence could have such a transformative potential? And can you share with us a little bit more about your journey to discovering the power of words?
Well, I guess I've always been in love with words. I find it fascinating that we've invented languages, so many of them, and so many ways to describe how we feel and to actually express ourselves. And I mean this literally. I've always enjoyed juggling words and playing around with them, and so that's been a natural talent of mine, I guess. But I learned about the power of language from my first big teacher when I was in my early 20s. He was a Native American from the personal growth movement. And after my very first workshop with him, I stopped using negative phrasing right away. So the last time I said something like, don't forget to call Susan on Monday or so, was 35 years ago. Ever since, I'm saying, remember to call her on Monday, because that makes much more sense to remember something and not to forget. Yeah.
That's so true. And is there one sentence in your life that had such a profound impact on you that it just turned something around instantly and like snap of my fingers?
Well, it was my own sentence. Interestingly enough, I was sitting in a coaching session and somebody just couldn't accept what was happening and wanted to blame the other people. And he gave away his power to this other person who then could, how do you say, I'm missing a word here. Who then was in charge of how he felt, and he didn't want that. And I said, well, it's you decide who pushes your buttons. You decide who pushes your buttons. And he said, what? No. He did this and that to me. And then he said, and then I answered, and then he wrote me the email. I said, yeah. But why do you give your power away? Keep it. You want it. You need it.
Right.
Don't do that. You decide who pushes your buttons. And that's how that first sentence really occurred to me out of the blue and out of nowhere. And it's in fact the name of the first chapter.
You decide who pushes your buttons. That is so true. I mean, that is so true. Yeah. So how do you see now? I know you do a lot of also meditation and you have your own voice practice. You are a writer. You love mantras. You
I
You're a
do.
public speaker. You are a singer-songwriter. You are writing songs. I mean, you just love the voice. One can sense that. So, how do you see the connection between conscious language and vibrational wellness? So, how does choosing a certain word intentionally affect our own vibrational field?
Mm. I think that's how mantras were originally created, right?
Mm,
About the
yeah.
sound and only the what you do with your tongue and how you formulate a word. It's not so much what it means, but what it does in your body, right?
Yeah.
And I love mantras. I realized that I love mantras when I was on Bali, and it was one of my, let's say, top three horrible days in my entire life. I was really down. I was somewhere else. I was just, it was a horrible breakup and a horrible night on my birthday. Everybody forgot it. It was just so horrible. And all of a sudden, I thought maybe it's the best that ever happened to me. And then I saw that sign saying mantra singing, and I went and I grabbed the last place, and I sat down. I was crying through the
Oh,
entire
sweetie.
session, and I loved it because I felt something. I felt really a healing, and ever since I said, okay, I need to know more about mantras, and I want to sing mantras, and that's what I did. And may I say that when I told you, like I don't know, 3, 4
Yeah.
years ago, that I wanted to find a singer for a mantra. And you said, yeah, I know somebody. I said, who is it? And I was ready to write down the name. And you said, her name is Karin Kushik. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? No, I'm not singing it myself. And you said, oh, yes, you will. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for somebody professional because I didn't have that in mind that I could do that. And you said, no, this is you. And I'm so grateful for you telling me. I would have never ever had the idea to do it myself.
Yeah. And then you went on to start writing and producing more mantras. You actually shared with
Mm.
me last week. Well, actually, your management sent me over some tracks, and one of them is actually what the first one. You must have felt this intuitively. Is entitled "Beat of Bali," which is very
Yeah,
much this connection to rhythm
yeah,
and vibrational power of sound. And now I can see you on this horrific day with tears streaming down
yeah,
your face, walking into that mantra
yeah.
session. Um, that resonates totally between flow and balance. Tell us a little bit
Mm.
more about what inspired exactly this song, "Beat of Bali," before we listen to it. So what is your
That was in
inspiration on that?
It was in fact the coming out of being totally devastated, and then coming out of this session feeling healed, although the circumstances didn't change. I mean, I was
Yeah.
still lost, I still had this horrible night. I
Yeah.
experienced this horrible split up. But the circumstances were the same, but my feeling was so different. I felt inner peace. I felt that everything's going to be okay because it is what it is anyway. No matter how I see it, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then I could relax and fall into reality, if you wish. Because when we're not in reality, when we're not here in the present tense and the here and now, only then can we at all be stressed out because we're thinking of the past, either because it was, oh my God, it was so good and it's over, or oh my God, it was so horrible, my poor childhood, or we
Mhm.
go to the future. Oh, I wish the day would come, or what if it doesn't come? So
Yeah,
whatever it is,
exactly.
there's always two ways to not be happy in each direction. But when you stay in the here and now and you just mantra like repeat, it is what it is, what it is, then what is there to lose? There is nothing in your hand at all. You cannot lose something that isn't there anyway.
Right. Oh, that's gorgeous. So let's listen. Everybody out there, this is Karin Kushik, and her track is Beat of Bali. And we're going to savor this sound. Yes, Karen Kushik. She's with me in studio today, and you have been listening to Beat of Bali, one of Karen Kushik's many tracks out there, many mantra tracks out there. Karen, you've worked with so many clients. You've worked with, I don't know, hundreds of thousands. You've worked with so many clients to help them shift their mindsets, right? And build self-confidence. I mean, that's what you do. You're a transformer. You are an alchemist. Like you can take basically mud and flip it into a lotus garden. I mean, that's what you do. So, how do you encourage your clients to find their own voice and to use it for a tool of empowerment?
Well, that's a wide question. Jesus, how much time
Wide.
we got? Wide.
That's a lotus garden question. Exactly. That's a wide one.
It is, isn't it? Well, usually for starters, they have to want it. When you work in the corporate world, what I did for 25 years, then a lot of people are sent to you. I never wanted to take on people who were sent to me. I want people who want to go for the change, who want to leave their comfort zone, who are aware of the fact that they are taking themselves down, and not other people do that because it's so easy to say, yeah, because of him, because of her. Yeah. And this is my first checkup. So a lot of people I didn't take on for starters, because otherwise it would have been they would have hindered me doing my job. I don't like that. I want to work with professional problems.
Exactly.
So that's always good to know, because you're the problem and you're the solution. And if somebody doesn't know that he's a problem, he's a solution, then we can't work. Right. So that's the first step. And I feel like I transformed a lot of people, but I didn't transform them. I was just the interpreter, the translator, so to speak. And I, like a mirror, I mirrored a lot. And through me, they could see them. And then what they thought they didn't like usually. And then you need strength as a coach to hold it, to hold that space and not take it personally. And then when they crack, then that's this beautiful magic moment when the most important 30 centimeters between your head and your heart are boom. When the thing is falling down, and then it's in the bones, and you have it, and it's your truth, and you will never change it again. And that's what I'm doing it for those magical moments.
Oh, the aha moments. Yeah, that's a big one. Never, don't take it personally. That is a line that has also changed my life. And you have another line in your book where you mentioned the idea, this is for me and not against you. And so the question is, how can we use our voice to reinforce healthy boundaries while still showing up or still showing compassion to others? I think a lot of times when people are setting boundaries, it feels very harsh and there's no compassion in the room, right? But the way you do it, or the way you've shared with us in your book, which is, you guys, it's a great book. You should go out and get it. So it's in the show notes. This is about respecting. This is for me and not against you. I'm not against you. This is what's working for me, and you do what's working for you. And there's still kindness in the room, right? So how does that work?
Totally. Usually we are very easy to trigger, and people are saying something like, "No offense, but." Yeah. And no offense, but means I am offended, by the way. And I'm going to offend you now. So, first of all, I think worrying is about as helpful as applying a Band-Aid before you've cut yourself. So that's a line I love. That's another line that jumped into my brain, and I didn't even know where from. And I have an idea. It's not from me. I just channeled it. So when you believe in this, that worrying is suffering in advance and there is no need to worry, then you dare more. And then you dare more to use your voice to speak your truth and say something like, this is not against you, this is for me. Because it's just impossible that everybody on planet Earth at the same time gets what he or she wants. It's just impossible. Because what I want is probably silence, and what you want is to sing and unfold, and then we can't
Yeah.
have it in the same room. So we gotta talk here, and this
Yes.
doesn't have to do anything with being against anybody, and that's
Right.
so important, I think.
It's amazingly important. So, what about
Mm,
self-expression? Now you talk about, let's say you want to dive really deeply into a golden silent,
mm.
a singing silent space. I'll put it like that. And I want to sing at the top of my lungs. What about owning our own voice? And so how does the way that we express ourselves vocally, I'm singing at the top of the
Hmm.
lungs, shift not only the world around us but our own identity? So what happens when we really take that space of I'm going to connect with my truth and still I'm going to be
Mm.
listening. I think this is very important. People forget this. I'm going to listening and be respecting other people's ability to voice and to be truthful, right? I'm not going to take it personally if somebody
No.
says, your
Yeah.
voice is too loud, Miss Johnstad, or somebody says you're too
Mm. Judging.
confined,
Yeah.
Karen,
Hmm.
or by wanting
Hmm.
to be in silence the whole time. Your
Why do you
quietude
hold
is
yourself
crazy.
back?
Why do
Why
you
don't
hold
you
yourself
express
back?
yourself? Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So how does that shift our identity? How does it change the world, the experience that we have when we're really living our truth and our voice?
Well, everybody is different. Everybody looks different, but only because we look different. But then when we sing, no, let's put it this way: when we start to sing or express ourselves, all of
Yeah.
a sudden we expect that everybody does it in the same way. Why would
Hmm.
that be? Why? What? Who? What? You're
Yeah.
blonde. You have blue eyes. I have brown hair. Somebody doesn't have any hair, bald headed. There's so many ways to be, and why would you expect that everybody would express themselves in the same way? That's what I always found very strange. And when I gave stage coachings, because
Hmm.
some people are running their race horses, and
Right.
if I'm together with a racehorse, I let him run. Yes,
Hmm.
it's gonna be annoying to others who are laid back and more relaxed, and it's too much for them. But hey, welcome. Then make the experience of how it is if somebody is too much for you, because you cannot make a poll before you start to speak on stage, for example. Like, how would you like to have me, and how would you like me to be? You just have to follow what's inside of you. Otherwise, you cannot express it anyway. You can only express what's inside of you. And if you're a racehorse, you express this. And if you want to sing out loud now using the singing voice, then you
Hmm.
probably, this is your thing. And if I don't want that, it's maybe not because I'm holding myself back. Maybe it's because that's the way I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe everyone has their own essence, right? They can voice
Yes,
their
and
own
there's loud people
essence,
and,
right?
and silent people. And uh, what matters is, do you allow yourself to speak your truth and to express yourself in the way you are? So that's
Yeah.
the genuine part, right? If it's
Yeah.
authentic, it's fine. It doesn't matter what it sounds like, what it looks like. It doesn't really matter, but it's got to be authentic. Otherwise, you're playing a game. And me as a coach, I'm not interested in games. People are playing games anyway without me. So when I come into the picture, I want things to
Hmm.
be authentic, true, and genuine.
I love that. Authentic, true, and genuine.
Mm,
That
definitely.
gets us to the word vulnerability.
Yeah,
What is
totally.
how does vulnerability play a role, and what happens when we show up and we allow ourselves to be like the fragile human beings that we are without having to produce and get the golden little points all the time. Talk
Well,
about vulnerability.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in admitting, admit
Hmm.
everything. Oh, this is my biggest weak, for instance, or
Yeah.
this is my biggest strength. I don't make a difference between weak, strength. This is just a connotation. This is just judging. Why?
Yeah.
But as a matter of fact, I am not very good in this, that, and the other. So why not saying it? I'm much
Hmm.
too, for instance, I'm much too intolerant for this. What a great
Hmm.
sentence. Because somebody here obviously has thought about themselves or herself and is reflective. and honest. And so if somebody says, "Oh, I'm way too intolerant for this," this is so cool. I was impressed when I heard for the first time. So speak out what is. If it's flattering or not flattering, let the others decide. But you say what you have to say.
Yeah. I love this so much because so many people are always worried about just being correct, and then you don't come to that honest communication, right?
Or Cara, or too much, or too little, right?
Yeah.
I'm too loud. Why would you be too loud? Who's God telling you, like, Judge, Quack, you're too loud. Oh, case dismissed. You know, who said that? I mean, all belief systems
all in
from the
our
old
little boxes, right?
Yeah.
I always say, Karin, I always say, I love to wear the shoes and not the box, right? I like to wear that.
You are always running around barefoot, for instance, whether it's winter time or not. People are coming with their moon boots, and you are running around barefoot. That's how I do remember you.
Yeah, that is so true. That is,
I am
still doing it. I run around barefoot, and then once in a while, when I go out into the streets and walking on those sidewalks with a few broken bottles, once in a while, I do have to wear my wide, really boring, shoes. I mean, wide. Right. I have little duck feet, and then I waddle around in my little flat, wide.
But you don't
shoes,
care less, right?
I could care less. Yeah, I could care less.
Yeah. Well, that's
and that
cool,
is.
Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want to squish my little toes into those pointed stilettos, but I used to. I used to when I was running around and on stage and everything, and I used to do that. And now I'm getting older and just saying, oh, you know what? I just want to be comfortable. I don't want.
So that's where
those stiletto shoes anymore.
That's where the expression comes from. The shoe fits. The shoe didn't fit for you anymore.
Shoe didn't fit. Welcome back to Voice Rising. I am Cara Johnstead, and we're continuing our conversation with the amazing Karin Kushik, author of 50 Sentences That Make Life Easier. And now let's explore some more how these sentences can empower us to shift from stress and self-doubt to clarity, confidence, and a deeper self-connection. Hi, Karen. We are back on air.
We are, and we are two Cancers being back on air.
We are, and it's like full moon. It's just, or maybe it's kind of the edge of the full moon, right? That was a powerful one we had this past week.
Yeah,
I think it was.
You tell me. Oh Lord!
Wow! I didn't even have my shoes on, but I had to stay grounded somehow. I had to like.
I dreamt for glue. 5 people. I dreamt for 5 people, right? Because my moon is in Pisces anyway, so I'm a dreamer.
Oh, wow.
You know? And I have to tell you, I just listened to your ad, and the word serendipity appeared, and it is one of my favorite words. And since you are the lady of the sound, and I'm the woman of the words, what are because your German is so good, it's just extraordinarily good. So what are your favorite words? Because mine are like serenity, serendipity, happy-go-lucky, belly button, and words like this.
Oh, belly button. That's a good one.
Yeah, I love belly button.
That's good.
No,
so
German.
My words in German.
Because the English-speaking audience will then only, grasp, only get the sound, and it's cool.
Oh my goodness! And now my brain is in English, and I'm flipping to German. Let me see.
Well, welcome to my world.
Yeah, right.
Because I am German.
And there's a phrase that I've never understood. I've asked many Germans. So the phrase is "klar wie Kloßbrühe," and so in English, if something is clear but not really clear, like kind of clear, you'd say clear as mud. And so for the English-speaking people out there, Kloß, ein Kloß, you can also have a Kloß im Hals, which means you have a dumpling in your throat. Right?
In your throat.
I mean, in your throat, a dumpling throat. I mean, a dumpling in your throat.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make sense, really.
It doesn't make sense. And
no,
I've asked many Germans, when you say We used to have more. We used to have 2 Germanys. So I've asked
Yeah.
many Germans. I'd say, okay, if I say klar wie Kloßbrühe, does it
That
mean
means it's
it's very,
ironic.
very clear?
No, it's not clear at all.
And
It's
I'm
like
exactly.
when you
Thank you.
put what's it called, gnocchis in a
Yes,
pot. Yeah, that's a
exactly.
Kloßbrühe, right? It's ironic.
I
So it
agree
means
with
it's not
you.
clear at all.
And 90% of the Germans say, no, that means the water must always be very, very clear. I said, yeah, but when
They
you
don't
put
know
the
what they're
gnocchis
saying.
in,
I'm
they've never
very
cooked.
happy that we could clear,
Okay.
by the way, this year.
Okay. What I love to do, Karin, is to translate directly words. For example, translate the word, for example, Glühbirne into English.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Glühbirne is a light bulb, but yeah,
a glowing pear.
Pear, yeah, a glow pear.
Yeah.
Like you have a glow pear hanging from the ceiling instead of a light bulb, or
right.
Spiegeleier.
Oh, it's mirror eggs.
Mirror eggs. Would you like some mirror eggs or fried eggs for breakfast? I love it. Mirror eggs. I love
mirror eggs. That's when it's sunny side up. Then it's a mirror egg.
Yeah,
but it doesn't look like a mirror at all. By the way, it looks like a mirror with a thing in it.
Exactly,
orange.
But the Germans call sunny side up eggs mirror eggs, and they also say, you don't have.
No, I don't have I don't see why actually. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we say sunny side up. It's very poetic, very, very poetic.
I love that.
I mean, don't you? Yeah, and I mean, so and the Germans would say, "Du gehst mir auf den Keks. You get me on my cookies." I mean, it's crazy.
But you say that's the way the cookie crumbles. Doesn't make sense to me.
Oh,
it's very old.
That makes sense. I guess that's it's funny.
I love words.
I do too. I love words and I love sounds. So I was thinking when I was writing your interview that, for example, sentences, we say that somebody's a sentient being. Like, and to be sensual and sentences, and it seems like, and it even could be the sound of Zen, it's like, yeah. And so you love words. I also love words, but I love sounds. And sometimes I do flip sounds. So I'm not dyslexic as far as like letters, but maybe as far as sounds go, I hear things and then I start jumping into different realities, and I end up again trying to plant my feet on the ground. Exactly.
Did you ever have a jump, a time jump that you all of a sudden are in a different time, like 50 years ago or 30 years from now?
Yeah, every day.
Every
day I wake up.
Are you serious? I don't get the question.
No, I mean, I think I think we do have the ability to shift time and reality, and this is what we know also from music. We can change pulse, tempo, harmonics, tensions. So it's again similar to what you're saying with words. We have a choice, and we can choose to run or slow down. We can also choose with breath and with our consciousness if we go into anger. Sometimes it's useful, to really
Kara,
shake something up.
Yeah. But mind you, this is something people usually don't believe or know or have never been aware of, that you can choose. You can choose how to react between the action that happened already, the situation, and your reaction towards that action. There's a little gap, a tiny, tiny little gap. And when you are aware of that gap, and it's there every day, 24/7 for everybody, but when you're aware, you can make this very, very fast decision. Do I want to allow him to get on my nerves or not? Do I want to say something or not? Do I want to lean back and keep on moving? Whatever. So you can make a decision. But usually 99%, I guess, of the people don't know that there is a time where you can, because it's so quick, it's past. that you can make a decision how you want to react, because it's never the circumstance that's bad. It's the way how you react towards the circumstance. Yeah. And this is so theoretically totally clear for everybody, I guess. But in practice, in real life, I hardly ever feel it.
I think that's why meditation, the inner voice work, I call it the inner voice work, that reflection is so important. And it is very interesting, if we like to play with words. React is to act again out of habit. And to respond is kind of playing with the word pond. It is to have a certain amount of reflection in the game, right? I've reflected. Yeah. It's reflecting. Karen, you brought another piece, a beautiful mantra from your collection, and I'm so happy that I inspired you to sing your own mantras, because obviously it's working, right? You're gorgeous. I mean, you're doing so many different things out there, but we are so blessed to have more and more mantras from you. So this one is called Ramadasa. I think it's Ramadasa Sase Sohang.
Sohang,
right? A lot of healing properties. So what do you love about this mantra that loved it so much that you decided to record it for us?
Well, it is the Kundalini healing mantra of all mantras. And I was very ill at the time when I decided to sing it and to listen to it, by the way, 24/7. I had a little machine, a mantra box. They exist in India. They get your mantra box. And it was really, really good for me, because it was playing onwards, always in a loop. And I had it very, very quiet. It just, you couldn't hardly hear it. I knew it, but other people wouldn't probably realize there is a mantra going on. Yeah. And it was constantly going on and on and on. And then I did journeys through my self, my body. I did a body check, and then a breath work and all that to recover and to talk to myself, because there's millions of cells every second who arrive new in our bodies. And I'm like doing this, I'm giving this speech like, hi, I'm Karen. You're new into my body. Just want to welcome you. We're getting, this is really what I do.
Sounds talking funny, to the body.
Welcome to my body.
Talking to the body. Exactly.
Yeah. And we're listening to a mantra because we want to be healed. And thanks for supporting me in the healing process. That's what I do. And that's what I did. And that's when I sang that song.
Beautiful. Let's listen in to Ramadasa Sase Sohang.
Sohang.
Ramadasa Sase Sohang. Ramadasa Sase Sohang. Sase Sohang.
Yama Dasa Sase So Hung. This is Karen Kushik singing for you, and she's with me in studio today. And you asked me before we went into that mantra, you said, did you have any time shifts? And I just had one. I just had one right
Oh,
there. I was
really?
feeling, I was feeling like I was listening, and then I was drifting off. And then I was like, oh, I'm actually leading an interview. I was really like,
Oh, wow.
allowing myself to just like,
Wow.
like I really be carried out to, I don't know, sea and the stars and the galaxy. And then suddenly I was like
Yeah.
bringing myself back, otherwise you would have been talking to yourself basically. So yeah,
Oh, I can do that.
yeah. Oh, Karen, share with us a little bit more
Yeah.
about your own voice practice. As everybody knows that follows Voice Rising, the voice does have all these many layers. We talk about the inner voice, the meditation, the self-reflection.
Mm,
We have speaking, we have journaling, we have creative writing, we have public speaking, we have songwriting, we have singing.
right.
And I think so. Number one, what is like one of the ways that you just keep on connecting to that inner truth? And number two, I believe you are writing a book, if not more than one book in the moment, which is also a kind of a voice practice, tapping
A
in.
very silent voice practice. Yes, it
Yeah.
is a voice you constantly hear, like an inner
Uh-huh.
monologue, but it is a very silent process, which is weird in a way because you're always writing about words, but you never speak.
Yeah.
This is
Wow,
like being
fascinating.
in a, yeah, it is. And this is what I
Yeah.
put in my intro. That's what I wrote down in the intro the day before yesterday, that it's a very awkward situation, really, to constantly write about words while not talking.
Yeah, and you're hearing it run in your mind,
Yeah,
right? You're
totally.
hearing
And I
this
have to
dialogue. Yeah.
totally, and I have to because I'm speaking my own audiobook. I always love to speak
Mm-hmm.
audiobooks, so I'll do
Nice.
this myself. So I'm writing while I'm writing the book. I write it so that I can read it better because I don't want to rewrite it for the audiobook. I want it to be, like colloquial, like laid back, this sort of tone when I write the
Mm-hmm.
book
Yeah.
already. So if you would read the book, or when you read the book, then you would hear me speak. So that's my style, and I like that very much.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for instance, I was almost missing a train
Yeah.
week before last, and it is so easy to get stressed and inside, and everything's tight, and tight is the larynx are tight, right?
Right.
The voice box is tight, everything's tight. The voice is higher than it used to be, and then I talked to the taxi driver, and then I said, you know what? In the same time, I could do a mantra. And what I did was, like very silently, like humming, I said, danke, 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 which means thank you, thank you, thank you,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. And this is what I did from here to Hauptbahnhof, which is main station, half an hour. So for half an hour, I was swinging in this and this gratefulness and the joy and the thank you sound, And
Yeah.
I used a little bit of my voice. He didn't hear it, the cab driver, but I used it. And I was right in time. I sat in the train. Everything was fine. So what we forget is that even then, we always have a choice. You're late, so what, honey? You can't help it anyway. So why not use it for a little mantra like thank you or yes, 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 yes,
Mm.
yes, yes. That sort of thing. I use simple words and then I just play loops and
Hook them.
it helps me very much.
Oh, beautiful. I was thinking that this is really, it could be a very big collective moment or movement that you are starting, and I'm joining in and in the parade. If we align ourselves as vertical instruments that we are with our voice, and if we start flipping all these chaotic words and start coming into this intentional language, right? I mean, you have these 50 sentences made easier. I mean, can you imagine that while you're in Hauptbahnhof? I mean, with like the main central train station, and you have like whatever, 1,000 people running around, everybody a little bit lost, and everybody starts saying, thank you, or taking a sentence and saying, hey,
Exactly.
this is not against you. This is for me. What a revolution where it's going to happen. It's like these are evolutionary times. And I find that as we kind of come to the close of this conversation, what would be your vision for our humanity or our planet based on the experiences that you have with language, with words, with not only 50 good sentences that are going to make our life easier, but I'm sure you have another 10,000 sentences that do keep us relaxed out there.
Think it will be the empathetic people who will start that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're like egocentric, you won't start a beautiful movement with a great heart and a great vision, right? So it's the empathetic people people full of compassion who will start it. What I found out is that exactly these people, unfortunately, are very easy to become a pleaser. Yeah. Because you're full of empathy, you don't want to set a boundary because you don't want to be rude, you don't want to appear rude. So those people struggle the most. And I want to say empathy doesn't oblige you to do anything. Compassion doesn't come with obligations, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't come with obligations. You can easily understand everybody and don't like what you see, and therefore set a boundary. So if the empathetic people would start, the big-hearted people would start with setting a charming, nice, quiet boundary, and crystal clear, if I may say so, then it's going to be easier for the rest of us.
Give us an example. Because I'm one of those empathic people that actually
empathic,
realizes,
that's what it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but sometimes it's hard for me because on stage, for example, my breath is your breath and your breath is my breath, or the river becomes the cloud. So where are the boundaries, right? I'm just melting into and being supported and with existence. So give me a clear example how I am trying to be nice and kind and save the world and everything, but actually I'm losing myself and maybe scattering myself.
Let's take the example, you being on stage, and maybe someone on the first round table is constantly talking.
Oh, that's a mistake, right?
Right. You don't want that, right? So would you say something?
Of course.
What would you say?
Well, this is very interesting because it has happened to me before, and it's very interesting that I've gone through all these different phases. So I've gone from trying to ignore them and turn your head to look at other people. I've gone to getting angry inside, but still trying to remember what I'm doing. I've gone to telling people, like stopping and saying, could you please be quiet? I've actually gone to having people leave. And now, I think now it never happens as much because I'm much more aligned, or I'm not as polarized. It doesn't, again, this line that you say, don't take it personally, I set the boundary, or for me, it's about clarity. It's clear.
Yeah.
It's not a boundary. It's a clarity. I don't want you to be speaking while I'm performing.
Right.
So don't.
So you could say, for instance, with a very soft voice, you have that very soft, round, warm voice. Yeah. You look at him straight to the eye and say, respect, please. Thank you.
Hold on. Respect, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
respect.
No,
please.
You could say that, or you could say, I don't know what you came here for. I came here to express myself. It's much easier if you would listen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So
exactly.
Whatever, or speedy recovery if you don't know what to say anymore. But
or drop your water glass on his head, right? Yeah.
No, but you want to stay, as you said, you want to stay with the audience. You want to share. You want to drift away.
Yes.
You want to make this all possible. But you can't if somebody is building a wall and looks at his, mobile phone and just this, that, and the other. So in a clear, very straightforward way, I would say, respect, please. Thank you.
I
And
love
that's
that.
it.
I
Yeah.
think, Karen, you have to record this and put it as a as a ringtone, right? It's like bring
Yeah.
bring respect, please. Thank you. It's
Thank
like,
you.
every
I
time
was in
every
Munich.
time someone calls and they want to just go on and rant and complain, it's like respect, please. Thank you. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, because I do think we are at a time, again, about choice. So we have our own personal choices in every moment.
Mhm.
And we, as a collective, we're also being asked at this time to really make some pretty clear choices. And some of the
Totally.
choices can be changed so easily. And I think that is what is so inspiring about your work, is that if I shift it, like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to eat, I don't know where to go, but I can
Mhm.
shift that one sentence today and it gives
Mm.
me a new perspective. And it's not very hard to do, right? I can flip one,
Exactly.
I can practice with just one sentence, like, oh, I'm not going to take it personally. The guy
Actually,
just
it's
stepped
one
on my
word.
foot. Yeah, tell me the
It's
word.
one word. It's the word is and instead of but.
I love that. I do that
If
already.
we
Yes.
would say and, we would build bridges. But
I
is
love
a
it.
wall. So I
Yes.
totally understand you, and I see it differently. Full stop.
Exactly. Full
Right?
stop.
I totally
Boom.
see. I totally see what you're going through, and I'm giving a concert.
Yes. Very good. I totally see that you haven't talked to your wife for 20 years and I'm giving a concert. Respect, please.
And respect, please. Thank you.
And respect, please. Thank you. So thank you, Karin, so much for sharing your wisdom with us
Thank
today. You
you.
are a joy to be with, and your insights, on the, well, I guess into the power of words, right? And their transformative potential are inspiring for us all, for everybody out there. Go pick up a copy of Karin's book. It's the bestseller in top 10 last 3 years. I mean, not 1 week has it fallen off of that top 10 place.
That's true.
And now, Karin, I believe it's in how many countries? 152 or something in English or something crazy like that.
152 in English, yeah, 16 other languages. And in the States, it's going to be released under the title I Decide Who Pushes My Buttons in November.
Oh, exactly. I Decide Who Pushes My Buttons. Very good. It was lovely to have you with me. Yeah.
Thanks
so
for having
thanks so
me.
much. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.